Hey, we're back with Inquisition. So it's taken me a long time to come back to this. Ever since I reset my PC, I lost all my DAI mods because for some reason I kept those in my root instead of my documents. This has happened before, funny enough, but I never learned. So I took the plunge and finally fully switched to Frosty. I used to kind of use both, but now I'm solidly just Frosty. In retrospect, I'll have to go through my mods more in depth because there's definitely some graphical glitches with like hair and facial hair. That is probably an old, DIY mod that just doesn't work well with Frosty. But it's the long-awaited Dragon Age Inquisition with all rogues. Today, we are making a dwarf. I don't remember the exact reason, but I already had a name for her during all my mage playthrough stuff, so we're going with the dwarf. I go for this kind of cutesy look for her, which is immediately steamrolled by the aged and rugged American accent voice. It's a little annoying that I can't have a cute dwarf voice, but you can only record every single line in this game so many times. Also, future me here, the American voice can be quite soft and nice at times. Like with either of the voices, I think it really depends on tone and like what option you choose and what tone your character is saying it in. Anyway, her name is Darva and I adore her. Best character. Fully playing through a dual-wielding rogue in Dragon Age 2 made me realize that game had the most fun controls and abilities as a dual-wielding rogue. And two-handed warrior while we're at it. Dual-wielding and two-handed were most fun in Dragon Age 2. And those are always like my go-to options whenever I'm playing an RPG. So I'm playing it super safe. I'm going as a dual-wielding rogue, and then I'm gonna make all three party rogues archers. That's easy peasy with Varric and Sarah, and Cole's build and abilities translate well to archery, as so I've been told. Man, I love horses. Especially as a dwarf, they're just so magical. Her name is Treasure. Anyway, we go to Val Royeaux, follow Sarah's clues, and we take down a noble douche who was too big for his britches. Or lack thereof in this case, and then boom, Sarah is in the party. Now is usually when I take away that bow and give her some daggers, but even on normal playthroughs, I've never been able to keep dual-wielding rogue NPCs alive. Dual-wielders and two-handed warriors are just the two toughest classes to keep alive in my experience, for NPCs and party members. Inquisition just hates DPS. Oh yeah, side note, Sarah is modded. Her vanilla bangs piss me the fuck off.
Oh no, it's fine, yeah? It's just, I thought it'd be bigger. That would have been hilarious if you were a man, right? Wasted.
Don't worry, Sarah. Thought you'd be bigger is still a very common thing when people find out their Herald of Andraste is a dwarf.
Oh, you're adorable. Yes, you are.
I love how you can choose if Sarah's a top or a bottom by romancing her as either a dwarf or Qunari, respectively. Fighting the mages as rogues is like an even split in difficulty between the warriors run and the mages run. Still has the absolute monotony of smacking the magical dwarf for 5 minutes, especially since the daggers do less than the greatsword. I remember the fight as the warriors being extremely dicey, and the fight as the mages being so unremarkable that I barely mentioned it in the script, but we were pretty toe for toe on this one. Fighting the Templars was easy though, it always is. Lots of parrying and poison. My archers go down from time to time, but honestly I'm impressed with how well Darva holds her own in battle. The same rings true for the actual Templar quest, though it helps that here we have help from Cerberus and other friendly Templars. I get a little bit lost at this point in my head and start faffing about, to the point where even the Envy Demon isn't sure what the hell I'm doing. I forgot how much I hate the last half of this quest. I don't think I recorded the Great Hall part, and the only way I got through this holding part was by stealthing and putting off the fighting for as long as possible. I thought I was gonna lose when it was just Varric, and the only way he stayed alive was to drink this potion. But the damage he was taking was so much that it saved him with less than half health left. Like, at that point, I thought we were done for sure. Oh my god, and I thought the Envy Demon fight with the warriors was awful. This just feels straight up impossible. Well, it's a bit early, but we did finally get to a point where I need to load a previous save. And it's at this point I regret being so cocky and not making hard saves sooner. I even got to the point where I went back to the previous part of the quest, and it still wasn't enough, so I had to go even farther back to just before initiating the quest. Level up a bit, do a bit of crafting, and then go back and redo the whole damn quest. And let me just say, it is much easier fighting the Envy Demon when you have full health and better weapons, armor, and abilities. Especially the poisonous weapons upgrade that heals you whenever you do damage with the ability active. I put it on me and Sarah, and that's literally how we stayed alive. I'm honestly not sure if we're ready for In Your Heart Shall Burn, but after doing some running around and wasting time, there really isn't much to do. We respec Cole into bow and arrow, and we start the quest. The one thing I'm a little irked about is that I found a Bianca upgrade in the retcon timeline, but never found one in my successful run, so Varric's getting a little weaker than the rest of the team. This part is a bit of a pain, but we did get it eventually. It did take a few tries. Once anyone is hit, they're pretty much down, so it's a real juggling act. Which Now that I think of it, yeah, we're rogues. That kind of makes sense.
Everyone to the gates!
Like, actually, after I'm done looting. I was on my way to rescue townsfolk, which I contemplated not doing, but it felt out of character when my game, like, hard crashes. Straight to desktop, no freezing or anything. It closed so abruptly, I thought I did it by accident. Like, I remember I was holding down right click to move my camera, and it closed so abruptly that, like, I, like, right clicked on my desktop. Let me just say, this life stealer ring is an actual joy. It seriously keeps me alive. I want to get one for everyone in the party. In the script I just wrote here, care Bronak too hard. Not sure what oh, here it is. Okay. So I go on with the Crestwood oh my god, that's such a tongue twister. I go on with the Crestwood quest line for as long as possible, but I can't even get into the hard part of the care Bronak recapturing, so we definitely have some grinding and leveling to do. And of course that means the Western approach is always the best place for easy resources. I actually get excited every time I go to unlock it. I had to wander around for a couple in Crestwood to find Obsidian, while Paragon's Luster is available right out of the gate in Approach. Not to mention the tier 2 others that are also available to find, though it is easier to get Phoenixes after clearing the smog. Wow, geez, I encouraged Cole to not make the lady forget, and as revenge, he immediately turns around and exposes the fact that I recruited Blackwall.
There is no other man. He becomes the other man to do the things he can't.
I did, okay? The barn was too empty without him, what can I say? I like how the one time I romanced, or actually 2 dudes, I was like, yeah, so anyway. But the instant I romance a woman, my inner gay panic comes out. But like, come on, Sarah is so cute. Yeah, she can be like annoying, but fuck it, let's eat the rich. Let's go do pranks. Okay, so anyway, coming back to the Karabernak fight with weapons made with higher tier metals, as well as figuring out how to craft upgrades for Bianca, made it a lot easier. Of course, the head chief was hard to fight, and it took a few tries, but between my healing on kill and Cole's accidentally really good ability loadout, we managed to take him down. No, it's cool, guys. I don't need help. Feel free to just stand there and watch me do the hard part. Not like I'm less than half your size or anything.
I don't want to backtrack, but do you know where we're going?
I don't want to be a bitch, but will you shut the fuck up? No, really, I really am trying to make an active effort to curse less in the challenge videos, but I do not like when you challenge my directions, okay, and know where we're going. So anyway, the rest of the quest goes on as normal. I don't even know if I recorded it, but it's uneventful. Now we meet Loghain, which, I'll be honest, once again surprised me, because I thought I had Alistair for this one. But I put my Rogue Hawk into my Templar cannon in the keep, which means I used my Dragon Age Origin save that used a Loghain Warden cannon. I was a bit torn on what specialization to pick up. Usually I'd go with Assassin, but I didn't really need a stealthy build. In fact, it would be bad. So I decided to go with Tempest. Excuse me? What was that? I realized I had my focus too late, so I think I'll reload the save and see if the ability can hit the big guy before he gets his armor on. During this fight, I suddenly realized that I've used way too many health poultices, as they also have to stretch into the fade part. For some reason, I tried to make it out alive before I realized that my last save was just before this fight and not way sooner like I thought it was.
If this is the afterlife, the Chantry owes me an apology. This looks nothing like the Maker's bosom.
I never heard the Woody Hawk line for this part. It got a good chuckle from me. Also, holy shit, she's a supermodel. The 3 rogues in this game are probably the least fade-friendly people you can think to bring with you. My poor angel child Cole is having a straight-up panic attack because he's pretty much dead again. Sarah is scared of demons, magic, and everything metaphysical, and Varric is a fucking dwarf. He and I should literally not even be able to fathom this. Although, wait. Me right here, just spitballing. He's been in the Fade before, though. In Dragon Age 2, so I guess it's not that crazy to him. You wanna know what? Never mind, scratch the Varric part. Though if you could learn to understand him, Cole probably has the second most Fade context, behind Solus, of course. Have I already done a spiel about how I like Divine Justinia? I don't know, she just seems like a cool character. I mean, that's the whole point. She's like, you know, the character that everyone loved, but I just thought she was cool. Now we're on to our last graveyard segment. Cole fears despair, which makes sense. I feel like that's like the demon opposite of him being a spirit of compassion. Sarah fears specifically the nothing with a the. And Varric fears becoming his parents, which I guess don't we all. My only thing is I have no fucking idea who his parents are. On purpose or just a cop-out answer? You decide. Also, it might very well be somewhere within the codex and I just haven't read it because boo, lore boring. The fear demon fight was so easy I'm actually confused. I don't even know how he died. He was still at half health with the barrier last time I checked. Anyway, I wanted an Alistair Warden because I realized both times we spared Hawk. I double-checked my mage playthrough and I didn't include it, but Alistair did stay behind. So I decided, screw it, we'll leave Hawk behind this time. Crying, oh my god, she even made it pirate-themed. Oh, shit. We forgot about Varric. Well, we owe it to him, I guess, to exile the wardens then. Man, that was tough.
Did I ever tell you about the time Hawk was on a Merchant Guild hit list? Tough.
Oh god, the Hawk family theme playing in the background of this part. Maybe it's because I just played through 2 with that same Hawk, but that hits home. Man, I am a monster, aren't I? So anyway, on the topic of personal quests, we of course finally make Cole more human and thus eliminating the need for the amulet to prevent being bound by blood magic. We get to learn some backstory too. He became how he was by becoming an apostate who died in a dungeon or something like that. Oh bro, Darva's goofy ass smile. Oh boy. Personal quest after personal quest. I'll get it all done and come back once we're ready for Halam Shiral. Also, yes, I know exactly what you're thinking. Bianca is a bitch and Varric deserves 1000% better, and I'm not saying it's me, but I'm also saying 1000% better and me haven't been seen in a room together, so just saying. Also, I cheated materials to make some sick gear for everyone. I did it off camera because I was gonna lie, but I decided against it. Because I had some really cool blueprints, but no materials. So I have a mod to get as many as I want, but it's all tier 3 onwards. And the only store for tier 2 materials, as far as I can tell, is the Black Emporium, and thanks to all my mods, I can't access it. But don't worry, I get my comeuppance after a glitch makes it so that most of the armor I craft has a super annoying graphical glitch on my Dwarf Inquisitor, so I make the best dragon armor I can and get on with it. After a nice scene of me and the homies playing Wicked Grace, and where we teach Cole the concept of clothing, and literally drink Sarah under the table, I go to do Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. And now we're ready. This time, I'm going to try to follow a guide and try to get that truce ending. I'm a little bit worried about court approval, but I'm sure we'll be okay. Also, a weird thing I just remembered, but in the Dragon Age Origins save I used for this, it was a modded game in where my female dwarf warden romanced Morgan, so I like to think that we're flirting here, and she just has a huge thing for small, squishy women. Also, I had to redo this quest like 5 times to optimize it to get the truce ending, which I've never gotten before, but, you know, it's kind of cool. Like, I don't really know what it means for Orlais, but it makes me feel badass, and I guess that's what matters if Dragon Age 2 taught me anything. Oh my fucking god, after all that, I thought I forgot to ask Sarah to dance or something, because she didn't show up. And after some research, apparently, it's because we weren't locked in or what the fuck ever. I even tried to go back and, you know, edit the save so that the romance is active for the quest, but for some reason, my save editor did not want to edit any Halam Shiral saves, and then when it did find a good save, I troubleshooted for like 3 hours, but could not find a way to activate her romance in the editor because the flags just weren't there. And because I completed the quest, the old autosave / milestone I used right before was overwritten. So, screw it, we have to move on. No dance scene for us. Blackwall always danced when I asked him to. Fucking hell, I am 2 months late on this challenge because of how long I farted around trying to do Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. Now we're finally on to what Pride had wrought. Not much to say about the start. This part of the quest is always easy. Kill baddies with the boys and move on to the temple. Morgan, you fake bitch. Also, I think all my crafting and cheating in tier 3 materials early made the game a bit too easy for this point. I'm trying to balance it with leveling so that the rest of the game will still be a challenge, which, by the way, that worked. To counter Samson's scariness, Calpurnia is so pretty. I wish we could have her hair in Character Creator. I love space buns. Especially fantasy space buns. I don't know, I just love them. It's never too early to put your hair into 2 cute little donuts. Also, shout out, my game just crashed while loading into the temple. Boom. Calpurnia was a pushover too. The hardest part was the elves. Although, I think, if I remember, we ended it on a 1v1, so that was pretty cool. Also, I know I'm missing a romance scene with Sarah, but once again, I can't go back and get it. This whole romance has been turbulent, and I think I should have looked deeper into how to make a move on her sooner. No matter, I think we're still a completed romance, so I still get the ending scene and everything. We're technically in love. Okay, but this is such bullshit. Like, no offense, sorry if this was planned from the start, but it feels like Feminist lore keeps doing a fucking 180 backflip every game. She was just a powerful witch who was gonna body snatch her daughter in the first game, and now she's an ancient elven god? What was the point of Kieran? What was the soul? What's going on? Were you just wasting my time in the first game? That's what it feels like. And now we're finally in the end game. I tried to go after Corypheus once, but after a few tries, I decided that I was fucking crazy in my all-warriors run for just sticking with it, and left to grind some more. I got a level or two and came back, and that did the trick. We managed to get through the fight, which, by the way, I am like 90% convinced the dragon fight is timed. I've lowered literally all of its health, and I was just hitting it for like 5 minutes with no real effect, other than when it decided that it was armor time and armored all over the place. And after a slightly turbulent but quick battle, Corypheus is dead and the game is finally finished.
He tried to bind me, but it failed. Did you see it? Did you see me?
Yes, Cole, I am so proud of you, my baby. I would die for you. And just like that, the video is over. And my script also ends here because I didn't know what to say. It's been a long time coming, for sure. This video is probably going to be shorter. Just because, like, there's only so much you can commentate on when you've done the game so many times, you know? I think it was always going to be, like, the first video, lot, second video, a little bit less, and this one is probably going to be the most scarce, because there is some replayability, but not enough to keep doing 30-minute challenge videos. But yeah, this is by far not the end for Dragon Age Inquisition. I have one more Dragon Age challenge series that I'm making, the solo one, before I'm gonna probably put Dragon Age on a shelf for a bit. Yeah, as always, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. I don't get very many comments, so I of course read all of them. Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment down below if you have anything to say, anything that's on your mind. I love you guys, I really do. It means a lot that anyone would not only watch my videos, but stay long enough to hear this part, even if you do just have me on in the background. Thank you again so much for watching, and take care of each other and yourselves.